So now I want to get my document, especially some of this main top part over here, to look closer to what this looks like. Okay, so the first and easy thing, is right here, my breadcrumbs. Could barely select them over there. See, these breadcrumbs over here need to be moved over to the right. So what I think would work best here is what's known as a descendant selector. I want to target since I'm just using a P element for paragraph, I'm going to target this element specifically within the breadcrumbs div. So if I select this, the actual breadcrumbs, and then I go down to my CSS panel and click New CSS Rule, you'll see that it already creates this selector the way I need it. Well, kind of. It adds a little bit more. It says contain. So this selector says hash container hash breadcrumbs p. So this is saying that any element that's inside of the div container, inside of the breadcrumbs container, that's a paragraph, do the following edits to, or apply the following styles. I don't necessarily need the container area of it. I'll take that out. When I click that, there's two things I'm going to do here. First, my font size, I'm going to bring this down to about 75% of the default font size. If I put in 0.75 and I put it in EM, since I put the body font to be 100%, which is the default of whatever the user set up for their browser, and I hit apply, that's going to make it smaller. That's, I think, about 12 pixels. Because if the, let's see, if the visitor's font size by default is 16 and you multiply that by 0.75 EM, right? Yeah, it's about 12. So that's good. And the next thing I want to do is align the text to the right. Now I could find that option in, where is it? In block. There it is. And right here in block and text align, I'll align it to the right. Hit apply. And so far, let me save my style sheet. I'll preview this. Okay, I got it where I wanted it. Let's see, this is the default layout. What's the next thing that I need to do over here? Well, I think I need some margins between this, because here, where it says normal flow is my div, this is my header, or the title of my page. I kind of need some space between the breadcrumb, because I believe, yeah, so my article title is what's right after breadcrumbs and before the first paragraph. So I am thinking that in order to get this effect over here, I should put some margins to the top and the bottom. That way, the margins, if you remember the box model, the margins are outside of the border. So if I wanted to, because if I put padding and I ever put a border around this, the border would be, the padding would be in between the text and the border. But I'm going to just do a margin. Let's see. So to do that, I'm going to select this text, and if I look down here, I know I got the right stuff because it says H1 and it's article title. And when I click the CSS panel, it's going to have all that information for me. I'm going to get rid of that. So I just have pound article title space H1, and in box I'm going to put, I'll uncheck same for all in the top. Why don't I put something, let's say 40 pixels to the right 0, to the bottom we'll say 30, and to the left 0. Now let's see what happens now. Okay, maybe what I ought to do too, this is kind of aligned to the right. Maybe I should align that text to the right as well. Could always change it later. But then that way, okay, this is about where I want it to be. I mean, I'm not going to fuss too much with it now, because later when I actually create some graphics and everything, I'm sure I'll do all the fine-tuning, but so far so good. The one thing I don't like, as you noticed, is this is bold, and header elements are bold by default. It gives them a font weight of bold, and I just want them to be a font weight of normal. So what I could do is, if I go back to Dreamweaver and I go to H1, I'll just double click on H1, and in the type I see, let's see, line, where is it, weight, here we go. Right here I have weight, and I'm going to select normal and hit apply. There we go, and we see that the overall effect was exactly what I wanted. Why don't I preview it now? Ah, okay, it's definitely starting to come together.